Thank you. Hello, good welcome. We're at the SAA headquarters. We are painting live today, so anything could happen in the next hour or so. So it should be fun. I'm going to paint a wet on wet technique today. So it's the Bob Ross wet on wet technique. I'm the UK's leading Bob Ross instructor. I'm the only UK instructor to be trained as a teacher trainer. So you should be in good hands. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to paint a basic picture. When I say basic, it's basically we're going to put as much in as we possibly can. So that's what we're going for. So we'll see how we get on. Now I'm going to use a 1-inch brush. I've got a minimal palette here today. There's a couple of colours I might not even use. I've got I've got sap green. I've got a cad yellow. There's a yellow ochre there, an Indian yellow, which we may not use. Titanium white. There's a dark colour there. Could be any colour, could be phthalo blue, Prussian blue. It's what we call a mountain mix. So it's basically got all the dark colours in it. So we're going to go for that one. This painting would look good in black and white. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 1-inch brush, pull through there, one side, turn over, pull it through the other side. I'm going to start up in the corners. I'm going to start in the corners because what we want the corners to be darker. We want it darker on the outside. We want it coming in lighter, lighter. We're going to draw the eye of the viewer into the painting. I'm doing little crissy-cross strokes coming down here, from there, coming up. What I might do is, if I leave some light areas, there'll be sort of suggestions of clouds. We're going to put clouds in as well, but we're going to just suggest a couple as well before we even start. So I put my liquid white on there, which is a basic thin white paint. And that allows us to blend paint, to move paint on the canvas. Now I put that on there a little while ago. These lights are so bright, it's probably going to dry out before we start. But what that tends to do is so that allows us to blend paint, to move paint on the canvas. If you've got a dry canvas, it would be a nightmare. We don't want that. So that's why we have it wet to begin with. So I'm going to come down with that around about halfway, just over halfway. That's going to be the sky. What I do is just wipe off some of that. Just the areas where I'm sort of leaving some clouds there. I want to tint that. I don't really want it pure white. I'm going to go in there, and then just wandering through. I can add a little bit here and there. Now I know what we got. I'm going to put a little bit of dark there. And sort of blending off. So already. We've got something going on. Really bashing in there. And I'll just wipe off, get in there. I'll just tone that down, soften that down till we're happy. Something like that. As I say, up to about halfway. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a fan brush and just add a little bits of ins and outs. You need the light to show the dark to show the light. So that's why areas where I think, oh, I'm going to have a cloud there maybe, it's going to be against the dark. So it's going to show up. So what I'll do, take my fan brush, go into my white, both sides, I'll jiggle wiggle like that, pulling it back. What that does is that if I go like that, and I go like that with my hand, I'm going to get paint on both sides. If I go like that, I'll get paint in between my fingers, and that helps bind the bristles together. I'm literally going to do little circles, coming in. Once it starts to touch and comes off, I'm not going to press anymore. I want to just wipe it all off in one go, so I don't want to do that. I'm literally up and down. You think clouds. Here and there, here. Going on that. Now what I'm going to do, little blend, I'm going to get a little soft brush and I'm literally going to just twirl around, sort of driving that in, whirl it around. There, job done. Now want some more of that, I'm going to swipe on the corner. I'm using the paint on the corner. I'm doing little circles. So coming up there, and that's going to show against that. See if I haven't got the dark, if I twirl around there, you can't see nothing. You can't see nothing. You need the dark to show the light. So, where I'm going to have some clouds and that, pull a little bit of dark, and it shows. It shouts at you. And you can whiz that around, leave some holes in the clouds. Your clouds, do what you like. Like that, same thing, blending brush, just blending the base of that, here and there, even little holes in there. I can go up and I can knock out some of the top. We don't want it too bright all the way across the top. Swirl it round, let it be like, one more go. I'm getting to like it. Swipe, swipe, swipe. Down here, circle, 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 comes off. You can whirl up there, say little holes in there, coming down, up, 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 really getting bold, really bashing it in there. Swirly, swirly, swirly. Same thing, blend. And you can do that as much as you like, as much. You can fill the sky just with clouds. We're not going to do that. We're going to do something else. We're going to do a mountain. We're going to put a mountain in. So Gary has messed me up. I normally am painting the other side round and I'm putting my brushes there. Now, because he's put me over here, I've got messed up there, putting my brushes everywhere. Right.
I do it on purpose.
He does, he does. Okay, going to take that first brush we used before, the dark one. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to have water in this, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just indicate some water. I'm going to go all the way across, all the way back on that. Then I'm going to reload. I'm going to one side, 1, 2, 3, pull it towards me. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now I'm going to use one side for one side, the other side for the other side. So I'm going to touch on there, and it's going to be a touch, pull, lift, like a plane taking off. It's not the wrist, it's the arm. I'm moving the arm. And then I'll just come up, hopefully, less and less and less as we go up. Use the other side for the other side. Touch, pull, lift. What I'm doing is I'm sort of leaving a sort of light area in the middle, so it looks like the light's actually hit the middle of that. It's a bit bright at the moment, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to blend that. But we really want that sort of open part in the centre there. So, but just by doing this, we won't lose it. We'll just tint it, and it will look better. Something like that. Okay. Job done. Job done. Put a frame rack. It's finished. Okay. Now what we're going to do, we're going to put a mountain in. Not going to put a mountain straight in the middle. I'm going to put it just to one side. Looks better at one side. So we've got these nice clouds here. Don't want to lose them. So I'm going to come over here, and what I do is I pull the paint out. I work from the pulled out area. I don't go in the big dollop. From the pulled out area, touch the toe. Now, if you think of it, that's the toe, that's the heel. So it's toe, heel, toe, heel. This is the sole, so it's kick, kick, kick. You with me? Kick, kick, kick. That's how it works, toe, heel. So I'll touch the toe, drop the heel. Let me wipe off so you can see what I'm going to do. Touch the toe, drop the heel, pull it towards me. Little roll of paint. Little roll of paint. That's all we need. We're going to just place in the top part of the mountain. Just going to go on there. I'm just sort of pushing. I'm concentrating on the top outside edge. Something like that. Who knows? I'll put my eyes on because I can't see a thing. That's it. I can see now. Just going to go. That's over. I'm just sort of pushing in to the fabric. We're going to use that paint. We're not going to do the whole mountain in this. We are literally just the top part, because if we put that all the way down, it's going to be a nightmare and we have too much paint. So from there, we'll do another little jet out there. Something like this, take some excess off. We just want enough to be able to pull with a brush. Now we can use a dirty brush. I call it a dirty brush because it's got paint on it. It's got a dark paint on it. Now, that's the narrow, that's the wide, yeah? So we're going to go on the narrow. We're going to paint on that. We're going to place it on the wide, whole of the brush on, not going over the top. I'm going to stay the top, I'm going to come down, and then out, out. Place it on, come down, and out. We don't want to come down too far with that, because we've got loads of stuff to put underneath, and we don't want to lose that. So now on the other side, same thing. On the wide, come through, all out. Now, I've got a little bit of a teepee situation going on there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go now, not on the narrow, I'm going to go on the wide. I'm going to pinch a bit of that on the wide, and then it comes out, and then it turns to the narrow, and then goes out. pencil there, turns to the narrow. I'm sort of overlapping. You have to overlap, otherwise we're going to be that thick up there as down there. So touch fault, one in there, and here it's just literally just a pull across. And now we've sort of already sort of got the idea of where the Sherpa's going to take us when we're climbing up this mountain. Not that we're going to climb up this mountain. Right, now what we're going to do, because I've pulled that out, I've actually thinned that paint. It's mixed with the white underneath, so it's got lighter. So I can actually go in with some low lights, bit of that dark, and it should show up. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come down, and I'm just like ski sloping down. I'm just bouncing down. So just tap, tap, tap. Yeah, and it's just going to, little nooks and crannies, goings on down there. Now, I'm going to do something. I'm going to take a little bit of that. I'm going to put a little bit more on the heel of the knife, because I want a little ridge coming down there, which I'm going to show you why when we put the highlight on. Just going like that, just coming through there. So we've got a thickness of paint. Thickness of paint. So when we put the highlight on, it's going to work for us. Now, highlight, take a little bit of white on there, and I'm just going to touch, I'm going to try and get a little bit over, and then I'm actually going to come down, give it a jiggle, wiggle, perhaps the suction of the paint will pull it off, but we want it to break. If it doesn't break, don't worry, we've got ways of making it break. Okay, from here, so it's up here, oh, there you go, there you go, and down there, one more. Little fiddly diddly. Now, I'll show you why we needed that little ridge. You're going to pull it out nice and flat. Get a little roll of paint on there. I'm going to scoop underneath that dark, and then I'm going to pull it out there. So, and hopefully that'll look like the paint. The snow is just melting and falling down the mountain. Let's wipe that off. Pull that nice and flat. On there. Scoop under again. Scoop under, and then pull back. So under, pull back. So under, pull back. We don't want a lot of paint here, so I'm not worrying about going on there. But can you see that? Now, biggest mistake is people tend to ice the cake when they're doing that. They put too bigger dollop on this. So let's see if I can do it. If you want to do it wrong, you can't. If I go like that, it's sort of perhaps a bit too full to sort of ice there. It hasn't broken. When I say broken, we want this sort of action going on there. But there's an easy way of getting around that, because what you do is you take a little bit of dark, and then you just literally bounce some dark down there. So that sort of looks like I've broken the paint anyway. So little secret there. So don't pass that on to too many people. Okay, what we're going to do. And normally we want to sort of make that sort of misty at the bottom there. So what I'm going to do, it's not too bad. I got quite lucky. Hopefully I'm going to get lucky throughout the painting. I'm just literally going to go a little bit of this. You can have a little tap if that works for you, but literally I would go sort of zigzaggy, but following the angle of the mountain, just to give it a slight misty look. I'll put a bit of tape around there, so when we take that off, it's going to look hopefully nice when we're finished. So, right down there. Now, we're going to do some foothills, some trees that are in the distance. Now, this could be 20 miles away, so we're not going to put tall, skinny trees in there. We're just going to make some indication of a little bit of a forest going on. I'm going to mix a little bit of colour. I'm going to take a little bit of white, yeah, and a little bit of that dark colour. Now, when you're mixing, you don't want to put the dark down and then start adding the light to that, because you just end up with a big pile of dark, yeah. So what you want to do is you want to put the light colour and then add the dark to that, and then that way you will get hopefully the colour you want. But trust me, if you put the dark down and then start adding the light to that, you're going to end up with just lots and lots of dark paint. Now what I'm going to do, this isn't loading, this is pulling it out, so I can actually slide forward. Now, I don't know if you can see that ridge of paint Gary, can you see that ridge?
Yeah, there's a bit of a ridge.
Okie dokie. Now, if there's a ridge on there is on there, okay? So what I'm going to do is we're going to make it look like so the sort of far off forest, and it might be going slightly up the mountain slightly, but this is far away. And what I'm doing is I'm going the way the forest is going. So I'm going backwards and forwards. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just touch on there and I'm flicking up. And a fatal mistake is to flick up sort of this much. If you go this way, it looks like it's, you know, it's 20 mile away, but you've got a 5 mile tall tree. You don't want that. You want just the tips of the trees. Closer it gets to you, obviously the higher you would go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to blend the bottom of that. I'm going to use this fella. I'm just going to tap. I might even use another one that's, oh no, it's working. Another one that's a little bit soft. It's more fluffy for the clouds, but if you want to get tough with these things, sometimes that. Now I'm standing about far away trees. Now if I'm going to do another lot, just a bit closer. Might not be much closer, so I'm going to stick in with the same, virtually the same colour. I'm going to go a little bit darker. And then, as things get closer to us, they tend to get darker. So what we do is, if you want to do layers, just do them darker and darker and darker as you're coming towards you. And then once we get close, we get a bit of colour going on. So, same thing, ridge. Now, we still want to draw the eye into the painting. So if I go, say, start off a little bit higher and then lower down, and see what I'm doing is I'm following the angle, the lay of that land as I'm going along there. If I start going up and down, it'll look like steps. We don't want that. You want it to look like a faraway forest. Same thing, just.
Mind your shoulder, Kirk.
Sorry.
Alright.
Who's he talking? I'm the star.
No good if they can't see what you're doing.
True. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a bigger brush just to give it more oomph, just to tap in there, because we want to just get that mist. So you're going to start to see a little bit of something, I don't know. It'll come to me. Right, I'm going to do the same again. Same this side. I'm going to touch high. So I'm a little bit higher and then dropping down. You see all right? Just coming across. Tap, tap, tap. And I say, don't do this. It don't work. It don't work. Tap, tap, tap. Come across. Tap, 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 tap. And same thing. It'll pull up. Not too high because it's still far away. It's still far away. And don't go at an angle because the angle makes it look like they're all blown over. So pretty much something like that. Put that down. Tap, tap, tap. A little bit of a blend. Just softens it down. And it looks like, I don't know, there might be a river behind there and the steam's coming up, the mist is coming up. So just tap it till you're happy. Now all of a sudden we're going to come 20 miles this way, because what we're going to do is we're going to cut out all the middle bits and we're going to really come closer now. So to do that, what we're going to have to do is we're going to add a little bit of green to that. So colour irrelevant. If you don't like the colours on there, don't matter, you do your own colours. It's just that's what I've got out. So pull it out through there. So right over mixing, just plonked in with that, no big deal. Put it out nice and flat. Wipe off. Then I'm going to pick up a brush. I don't know, this one will do, this one will do. Same thing, this isn't really loading the brush, this is putting a bit of, a little bit colour on the brush further up, and it's pulling some out so I can actually get that little ridge. You can see that ridge appearing? Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, same thing, slightly built up there, but we could be really bringing all this a lot closer to us. And I'm going to, these could be far away trees, or they could be, we could decide, no, we want them just I don't know, a couple of 100 yards away, over the other side of the water. Where I said we're having water. follow the angle. And by doing that, see, you've always got like the lay of the land. If we do that, tap, 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 up and down, no good, no good. So, tappy, tap, tap. And then pretty much level across the bottom. And then we pull up there. Now, if this was 5 miles away, could be still tops of the trees. If it was a couple of 100 yards away, could be grasses. We don't know. It's up to us to decide what we want to do with it. We're going to make it grasses. So this is the water. What I'm going to do is I'm not going to blend the bottom of that. I'm going to touch the bottom of that and literally decision, where's my land, where's my water start. So basically what I've got to do is make that decision. And then I come along there and where the land ends and the water begins, that's where we're having the water. I'm just tickling that across. Just tickling that across. What I'm doing with it, don't go heavy with it. Like, we want emphasis on the downward stroke. We don't want it on the sideward stroke. What we're trying to do is, if you're standing opposite a body of water and you've got the tallest, straightest telegraph pole in the world there, the emphasis would be on a straight line. But it would be giving it some of that because the water. So that's what we're doing. We're just giving it a little waver. So don't overdo the side stroke. Okay. What happens now? Okay. What we're going to do, we do a little bit of that, is take a little bit of liquid white because we're going to do some water lines. But I'm only going to do a couple because I'm going to do something else on that bit of grass. Well, that lay of land back there. What I do is a little tiny bit now. I'm going to touch the heel, drop the toe, cut across. Really, we want that, try and be level. Think water finds its own level. Just put a few in there. We're going to never do it all the way across there. It looks too man-made, it looks like the end of the swimming pool. So don't do that. You want to break it up there. But what we're going to do first is we're going to do a couple of trees on there. So what I'm going to do is find a brush. This will do. Okay, going to go into that dark. So I pull this way, pull that way, and then don't forget that jiggly wiggly. Okay, that helps bind the bristles together. Okay, now people tend to have a lot of trouble with the evergreens. I can understand why, because they're tricky. Once you get the hang of them, they're easy. Now, what I do is we've got the belly, you know, that bulgy out bit. That's the belly of the brush. We can just literally just touch on there. We can do another one over here. We'll do one over there. Why not? Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you to do we have what we call uppies and downies. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do an uppie with you first of all, and I'll just go through it. And it's just literally just touch. Oh, that's it. We can make it bigger so you can see it. That's the tree. Simple. Let me show you. Let me break it down. What you're going to do is, if you're going to do an uppie, right, you've got that there. You want to leave room for the fairy on top, because these are going to Trafalgar Square and they're going to be cut down and put up for Christmas. So you want a decent room for the fairy. And what I do, because it's an uppie, I'm going to slightly raise the end of this. And then what I do is I just touch, touch, touch. And that sort of, that triangle, that tip of that really goes on the centre of the tree. Okay, so I literally touch that. And the more pressure I use, the more out it goes. Then what I can do is I can flip that over, because I've got another load on that side. I've used that load up there. I've got another load on that side. What I'll do then is I'll come to about 3/4 of the height up there, to about there, and then I'll just touch slightly, coming out to the right, to the left, to the right, and I'm sort of just, this is all the movement I'm doing. Some people go over here and they're over there. No, just literally, just a little movement. Job done. Now, show you on the other side. So that's how we do uppies. So basically, handle up. Down ones, handle down. that corner just touches on there. Remember, room for the vary. Room for the vary on top, okay? Just literally touch, 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 touch. Down the centre. That way, if you go like that and you miss the centre, you've got something holding it all together. Yeah, otherwise you go and you've got nothing in the middle. Okay, so now you know you've got the centre. Once you've been doing it for a while, you don't need to do that. So what I do, about 3/4 of the way up, that side, that side, that side, that side, that side, that side, job done. Okay, now uppies, downies, whatever you like, you do. Always good to practice both and play with both. I like it, so whatever. Do you get them both together? I don't know. I don't know. I tend to do one lot on one painting and then another lot on another painting. But do you get what I don't know? So we want to reflect that. So all you do, and this is what gets me really, because if we've done an uppy, we're going to do a downy reflection. If we do a downy, we're going to do an uppy reflection. So that's how we've done that one. So basically what we do is we put that in there. Instead of doing the uppy, we do a downy. So, and if you start, it doesn't have to be exactly the same because we're going to obscure it. Yeah. So on this side, that was another sort of, well, he looks a bit like a, can't make up his mind, that fella. So roughly about the same height. We'll call it an uppy. Tap, 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 tap. So like that. Over there is a downy. So we raise the handle to make them an uppy. So we'll put that first, or we put the trunk in. Now, is just a fraction bigger than them, so we'll just put my fraction bigger down there. So what I'll do is what is a downy, so it's an uppy. Basically, you're using that part of the thing for an uppy and that for a downy, okay? So we're just pushing into that. On that. Now, see how I made it sticking me apart. So let's have something to blend that with. Okay, we can use this fella. He's just a dirty brush. And what I do, touch on there, pull straight down. Touch on there, pull straight down. Touch on there, pull straight down. Now I'm going to give it white because I will pick up a lot of that colour, okay? And then I gently, and it's always good really to, if you come from the outside, because if I've got green on there and I dab on there and come across there, I'm going to get a green in the centre there, and I don't really want that. Here, if I do it the outside and then just lift off before I get to the centre, and it just gives us that little waver, and on this side you can wipe off but still come from the outside. There you go. Just give it a waver, that's all it needs. Now, what we're going to do, now we can go in with our knife, clean our knife off. When you're cleaning the knife off, always clean the sharp edge on there because you might not see it, but there is paint on there if you've gone through paint. Then I'm going to touch a toe, drop the heel, pull it through, little roll of paint on there. Touch toe, drop the heel, and then just literally backwards and forwards, here and there. Now you've got to be careful once you start getting down into light area because you will pick up the dark. I don't know if you can see that, but you will pick up the dark. So if that's the case, if you're worried about that, each time you do it, give it a wipe. So if you're over here and you don't want to get that dark colour anywhere, then either work into the dark or wipe off because you will get it. You will get it, it's there. And with this, it just pushes, oh, a bit wonky there, it pushes the reflection into the water. It really does. It really does. So just touch on there. Just a few here and there. I've gone too much. See, look at that. Gone through with the, what do they call it? The dark. But look, it don't matter. It don't matter. Just give it a little wipe. That blends it down. If I go back in there, a little bit of white on top of there. I don't know. The fish have just stirred up a bit of the green stuff underneath. I didn't clean, some of you might notice, I didn't clean my palette because of the shine of the lights, you know, otherwise, you know, it's really a clear Perspex palette. I didn't clean it for that because of the light situation. If they believe that, they'll believe anything.
Kirk,
Go on.
we're about halfway through our time.
Oh, should we have a break?
That sounds like a good thing.
Okay then. See you soon.
Let us bring out the artist in you. If you'd like to learn how to paint or improve your painting, the SAA is here to inform, encourage and inspire you every step of the way. When you become an SAA member, you get so many benefits, including the free bi-monthly newsletter Paint, packed with inspiring step-by-step projects, fascinating articles, and detailed information to get your creative juices flowing. Discounts on over 13,000 art products featured on the SAA website and in the Home Shop catalogue, with free order line and free delivery in the UK mainland. A devoted SAA team on hand to answer your questions and give you the confidence and motivation you need to start painting and develop at a pace that suits you. Plus, a free welcome pack filled with gifts and practical help to get you started, as well as the opportunity to make friends with like-minded people.
Best thing of being a member is the inspiration from the magazines, to be able to purchase things at a very reasonable price.
Yeah, you get the reduction on all the materials, the advice you get.
I can shop from home.
It's a community.
It seemed like a very friendly sort of organisation.
If somebody's thinking of joining, don't spend too long thinking. Just join. They'll love it.
And we're back.
Right, hang on with vodka. Put it down. Okay, hello, welcome back. Right, you see what we've done so far? We're going to do some other bits and pieces. I'm going to take a little dirty brush. Remember what I said about dirty brush? That's dark brush, that's got dark paint on it. Basically, I'm going to go into the green. Green, and I'm going to, okay, you don't want to go bang, smack it. I'm going to come about here. Touch on there, pull down. Touch on there, pull down. About, sorry, you see okay there? You see I'm not in the way up? Okay, so around about, I don't know, 2-3 thicknesses of the brush there. And I'm going to zip across on there. Now, I'll tell you what it ain't, or what it isn't. That East End boy will come in from time to time. What it isn't a green submarine. I'll show you what it is. You'll see what it is. Gonna take my brush with the white on. Gonna go into, pick up a little bit of that liquid white, yeah? Thin white paint. Into there. Wiggly jiggly, wiggly jiggly. Plenty of paint on there. Now I'm going to start above there. I'm going to come along, touch on there, come across there, and then over, down, down. I will pick up the dark, so I'm going to give it a little wipe. Okay, back on there. I'm going to go over the same thing, wiping off every time because I'm picking up the dark colour underneath there. I don't mind a bit of contamination in the white, that's fine, I don't mind that. Just don't want it really dark on there. Now I'm going to come from the other side. So look what I do, I go on there, come across, over. If you make noises, it's better. What was that? So I was over there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift up the handle and I'm just going to touch, push, 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 into that, into that. Turn it around, little splash. Now, what I've got to do, waterfall, obviously. Now what I've got to do is we've got a container, we've got to hold that in there because it wouldn't be like that, that just don't happen. Going to take my knife, take a little bit of brown on there, yep. Now, what I've got to do is I've got to be above the water. If I was below the water, it would be coming over there. So I've got to be slight. It can be, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch, 1/16 of an inch, 1 millimetre. As long as you are above, it don't matter. But if you start going down there and dropping down there, it won't look right. It won't look right. Over here, just going to put. And you always want to make your waterfall slightly wider than you want it because you are going to do this and you will lose a little bit this side, a little bit that side, okay? So, pushing into the fabric basically, into the fabric. Yep. Now I can go back as far as I like, but we're going to have some bushy stuff going on back here. So, and same thing, if we're going to put some bushes over there, they're going to overlap. So we don't want it just as what you want. If you just want this much, you know, you are not going to get that much if you just do that much. If that comes over there, you're going to lose. So I'm going to do a highlight. Okie dokie. I'm going to take a bit of white, put it there. I'll take a bit of the yellow because we've got it out there. Don't need it. We could have used that bit of brown and white, doesn't matter.
You can't see what you're doing.
Oh, sorry, I picked it up. He told me not to pick it up. Sorry. Okay, so I put a bit of yellow ochre in there, a bit of brown in there, and a bit of white. And then what I'm going to do, it's a tough one here. So take a little bit. See the different colours on there. Don't overmix it. Don't overmix it. So what I'm going to do is I want to go a little bit, because it's the highlight, wants to be on top, so don't go underneath in there. So just slightly on top, a bit like snow on the mountain, really. Go like so. Yep, bingo. Same on the other side. Now, on the other side, what we can hang on, let's put a bit of that. Just want to. If you overdo it and it's too light, show you that. Just go back into some dark. So if you have trouble making the paint break, you can go back in there and do fiddle with it. So you could do that. Okay, now over here, now see, this is sort of like rounded. Last year the fisherman was over here and he stood on there and he slipped in there and we haven't seen him since. So we want something, you know, his brother's going fishing there. So we want a nice flat, safe area. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little roll of paint on, and what I do, let's take some more, a little bit like that. I'm going to touch on there, just above, and I'm going to sort of squidge it back, and then all of a sudden, it's like flat, so it's not safe. So what I've got under there, I'm not going to touch that, I'm just going to go a little bit underneath there and just, you know, get a bit reflective light, but mainly the light's going to be on the top there and the top there, it doesn't matter. So if you're happy, then that's all that matters. So that's it. Now we've got to do something with this bit and this bit, because the water would come this way as well. So what we need to do is we need to get a dirty brush. Okay. You can see all right?
Yeah.
Good. What I'm going to do is I'm not going to load on the flat on the square. I'm going to turn it to the side. I'm going to round one corner off. So just rounding one corner off like so. I can take a bit of that. Different colours there. So I've got sort of one corner rounded off. So what I've done is I've rounded that off, turn it round that way, touch there and push. So touch there and push. And I'm really sort of thinking tops of bushes and stuff. Remember, you've got to be above where the water is. You don't want to be below. No good starting down there because the water would come over. So do some more of that. And then I'm just blocking it. This is, at this point here, I like it because you've got those colours mixing with that white and stuff going on underneath. So it goes lighter. So basically, you don't want to go into some dark and really darken up there, because what you do is when you get into a little bit more dark and then you just do this, already you're seeing some things happening. So it's like, we can add some highlights, but we haven't even done that yet. So over the other side, take a little bit of the green, just push, and then things going on. Overlapping the brown. Don't matter if you pick up brown, it's a bit of mud. Things going on. So we don't mind that. Okie dokie. We're going to put some highlights on, but we're going to put that down first. So yeah, what we can do is, easiest way to do twigs and sticks, if you look at the knife, if you hold it that way, see that point there, if you're on the sharp, you're going to get an arrow twigs and sticks and little. If you can't see them, which you might not, turn it that way and you go on the wide. Oh no, much too many, but it don't matter. It's just a teaching class. Okay, put that down. Now what I'm going to do, we'll use a different brush. We can use what I call the round one there. It's more egg-shaped. But what I do is I put paint on that point there. Tappy tap tap. I can go into all them different colours, doesn't matter. And see, I'm sort of putting more on the top part of that. Yep. And then what I do is just gently, just tap it in there. And this will show, I don't know if it shows. I said to Gary, I said, where's my monitor? He says, you don't get a monitor. Oh, I don't know what I'm you can see what I'm doing, I don't. I can see what it looks like on here, but I don't know what it looks like on the TV. So I'm going to go a little bit lighter. So I know that. How's that, Gary? Can you see that?
Oh yeah, looks good.
Oh, good, good, good. Okay, over this side. The same thing. If you've got dark and you add light. Now, if it's not sticking, if it's not coming off, it's one of two things. Either you haven't got enough paint on your brush, or it's too thick. Yeah, because with this principle of painting, a thin paint sticks to a thick paint. So you need to get thinner every time. So each colour you put on needs to be thinner and softer than the one before, because it won't stick. Right, put that down. Now, how are we doing with time, we are?
We've got about 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes.
Good, 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 good. Okay, then. So what I'll do is we'll plonk some bits in there. I'm going to take my knife, little roll of paint on there, and I think what I'll do is we'll put in a suggestion of a fence. So literally there, you can go like this or you can go like that, depending on what you want. So basically we can just touch on there. 1, 2, 3. They say go 3, don't they? They say, whoever they are, I don't know. They say that. So, I'm going to put a little highlight. We can use that highlight colour. So I'm going to literally take a little bit of that, touch that, and now we said the light's come from this side because that's noted by the mounting. So the light's hitting the side of that. So we want to highlight the right hand side of the posts. And we can use that highlight colour. Just touch and literally tap, tap, tap. Something like that. Now, if the bottoms of the posts look like they're just floating in mid-air, which I think I got lucky again that they don't, you can just come along after and just tap a little bit of something on under there. We're going to a different colour, a bit darker, and just more subtle in there. And then it looks like they're behind something now. Now the one I like is, and easiest is wire the fence. Wire the fence. Don't put a post across it. You can if you want, but basically what I've done is I've cleaned off the knife. I'm going to use the toe. I'm going to put the toe. I'm going to literally just touch the toe on there, go that way, and if I just go zoom, zoom, and it might be a wire gone off there. From there, zoom, in there. This might be going off there. See, you've got a simple way. Don't you tell no one. So anyway, so that's that. So we could literally many places we could. Right, for another 10 minutes?
10 minutes, yeah.
Good. Okay, what I'm going to do, let's do a bit of a skinny fin tree. Look, I'm going to take the filbert brush. This is a little filbert brush, yeah? Going to take brown on one side, brown on the other side, okay? Then I can just swipe one side through the highlight. So we've got the highlight one side, brown the other side. So this is where the sun is, up there, okay? So if we put it in there or we put it in there, perhaps we're only going to do a small tree, so we can put it in where we like, can't we? We'll stick over here. Right, what I do is I touch on there. You all right there, Gary? Yeah. Okay, touch it lightly. As I'm coming down, it's going to get wider, wider, wider. Yeah, and a little bit of a wiggle. No, doesn't matter, does it? Okay, a little bit of, why does the dark come on that side and the light on the other? There you go. Banged in a bit of light, that's a little bit. As long as you do it thicker down the bottom, the tree is thicker at the bottom than it is at the top, yeah? So same as branches. If you're going to do branches, make sure you do them thicker near the trunk and thinner as they go out. Now, I wanted to show you this bit because this is where people tend to have trouble with. One of these, they're called dippers, pipettes, okay? So what we're going to do is just got a little bit of liquid or floral or liquid clear. You could have a little bit of thinners in there, just something to actually thin the brush down. This is a liner brush, yeah? This is a very thin brush, yeah? Rigger, whatever you want to call it. I'm sort of bringing that paint over there, so I want to get some of that brown. I've got to have equal amounts of paint and medium. If you just got medium there, it's just going to run down like water, yeah? So, and if you just have just paint, it's going to be hard to make it flow. What I do is I roll it. As I'm doing it, I'm rolling it, yeah? I'm going to hold it about halfway, okay? Now, are you all right, Gary, if I come across a little bit? Yeah. Okay. So what I do is I hold it halfway, but I hold it like a dart, yeah? And it's literally on there, and you wiggle and jiggle and just lift off as you do it. If there's, as you see as I lean that forward, that's where it went thick. So if I lean it forward, you're going to get thick. You've only got to breathe and it'll get thicker there. But if you hold it like a dart, it tends to stay a lot thinner. But you need that medium. Remember, let's get some more of that. I'll put so much more paint on there. I need a little bit more medium and it's going to flow better. Okay, from here, so hold it like a dart, so it's straight in, yeah? Wiggle and jiggle. Then you can go a lot further. Deeper into that. And there it comes off. We don't know, sometimes they come on and they cross over. Anything you don't like, you just cover with foliage. So, on that. Put in as many of you as you like. But as I say, if you do it, can you see over here, Gary? Yeah. You see on that? Right, if I'm holding it this way, I'll do it, no, and I've only got to breathe. Oh, oh. Whereas, if I'm holding it like a dart, it go narrow, and like see, it's not going to be as, you're not going to get those great big things. So hold it like a dart, straight in, wiggle, jiggle, and then you'll find it works better. Try it. I don't know, you might not find it better, but I would say certainly try it. Now, different brush, big filbert, overly brush. Now what I'm going to do, we can't put a lot on there because basically we ain't got a lot of room in here anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap into some of my greens, tappy, tappy, tap, tappy, tappy, tap. Now you want to use that shape, yeah? We want to use that shape. So it's no good going straight in and doing it like that because you ain't using that. You've got to drop the handle. So you're literally putting it on like your fingerprint, yeah? If you go straight in, you're not going to use the shape of that. So many people spend loads of money on filbert brushes and just do that and they don't get nothing. So drop it down. In there, some goes across, and there. Be careful when you're going, if you're doing that, because if you go across the mountain, there's lots of paint on there, so it's going to be harder to work. So I would try and avoid the bits and pieces like that, yeah? So anywhere there's thick paint, try and avoid that. I think we're a bit, I'm going to save, oh my dicky birds, I'm going to save the birds till we do the seascape, okay? You got to see them. It's a little bit different. I'm going to save them for the seascape. Now watch what I do. I'll put some tape around there. Just go like that. And hopefully, you've learned something you didn't know, confirmed something you did, and know something you don't know. We're done. All right, Gary?
All right, say cheerio.
Cheerio, thank you. See you again this afternoon.
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. See you later. Take care.